Hello everybody, Bill, SixRounds Studio. Today we're back on the Stevens favorite, model 1915. We're going to take this thing apart today, and very clearly, if you're here for the disassembly video, this is not going to be it. I am going to take it apart. I'm going to video it as it comes apart, talk my way through this thing because I've never taken one apart before. However, this is not a detailed video on how to dismantle a Stevens favorite model 1915. So there is a mainspring for the hammer or hammer mainspring, and I've released that so it's so the tension's off, and there is a simple screw down here that attaches that to the frame, and we have to go down through the takedown screw or stock attachment screw, and I can tell it's still under some tension. And my buddy Rick is always saying, "Bill, take the tension away," and I agree with Rick. However, I have no idea what's going to happen here. I'm hoping nothing. Well, something happened. So there is the latch, or the holder that fits into that screw. I am going to tape this up. If you've watched any of my disassembly videos, I always try to tape like parts up so that when I go to reassemble, there's the strut and the spring. So these parts will live together. Now, because that was under more tension than I expected, when I go to put it back together, I'm going to have to figure out how to compress that. Now, that released the tension on the lever and the hammer. The next thing I want to do is pull the flat spring. That is the trigger, or trigger return. And there is no easy way to do this because there's no hole provided. So you're working outside of the edge of the tang. Okay. My flat spring, there's the screw for the flat spring. Same deal, we're going to tape those together. So now the hammer is loose, the lever is loose, and the trigger is loose. So which one should come apart next? No idea. Let's do the trigger and see what happens. There we go. Trigger screw, pivot screw. Each one of these things will get restored in its time. And I've never been good at having a pile of parts and then figuring out where those pile of parts go. So I like to tape them together as part of their assembly. This is the latch or a thumb screw that attaches the barrel to the receiver. Let's pull the hammer. There's that. These little Stevens are really pretty simple mechanism. The sears look really sharp and crisp. So if you watched the first video, you saw me soak this in oil. Well, it's been soaking in oil for a couple weeks. And I've not had a chance to get down here and work on this, so we are back now working on it. And everything is literally just, the oil has penetrated into everything, which has freed everything up. And makes this thing coming apart a little bit easier. Now, this is the bridge block, or I believe they call this a rolling block action. Other than the rust, this is in remarkably good shape, surprisingly. And there's the pivot screw for the block. Ooh, so comes okay, we are going to have to take the screw out for the extractor as well. Okay. All right. I'm going to put this assembly back together. All right, there's that assembly. Each of these will get restored in their order, and that order will occur when I reassemble. So we'll both do the reassembly along with the polishing blue at the same time. All right, receiver is all apart. I am not going to take the barrel apart yet. I don't think the sight is the correct sight for this barrel. It looks like it's the wrong insert, and it looks like it's been messed with or played with. So we're going to have to find a better sight for this. In the last video, we talked a lot about the rifling in here, or the lack thereof. Somebody asked me if I thought it was a shotgun version of it, and it's not. There's very clear rifling in here. It's just not very deep. We're going to make this thing pretty, but I'm not sure how well it'll ever shoot. All right, there's that. Now, so we have a lot of restoration work we need to do on this stock. We have to repair or replace this broken toe, and we have to repair and replace this Stevens pad. Not sure how I feel about that just yet, whether I want to try and source one or do the repair. This one, all of the logo is all original, and it's really intact and really looks pretty nice. So I'm probably going to hold off on deciding whether to replace it or restore it. And then of course the last thing is the forearm, and the forearm looks like it's in really good shape too. Alright, so short video today, getting this thing apart. The next thing I need to do is think about what order of restoration I'm interested in doing first. The small component parts, they're going to be sort of easy, and as I said, we'll do those as we do the reassembly. The metal to wood fit is excellent. I'm not going to have to do a lot of manipulation with that. I do want to strip this, but I want to strip it before I do the metal work, because I want to make sure that I'm not undersanding or oversanding, if you would, the wood, so that it ends up below the metal. That's one of the things that happens a lot when people or amateurs try to refinish their stock. They'll pull it out of the metal and then they'll start sanding. Well, as soon as you start sanding, you start rolling these edges over and you lose those contours, and then the next thing you know, you've got all this metal that's proud of the wood. So I prefer, if I'm restoring the entire firearm, to do it in this condition, so that when I do sand it, I'm sanding to the metal or stripping to the metal. So probably what we're going to do the next time we come back is focus on this gun stock, and I'll start stripping the gun stock down and then doing the repair to that toe. So I'm going to have to cut that and find a piece of wood that looks reasonably correct. But in order to do that, I have to first strip this so that I know what the coloration of the wood is, so that I'm finding a replacement piece that matches this closely. Alright, so we are making progress, or we're going to start making progress on this Stevens favorite. Very, very pleased after it soaked, because I was really concerned that the pitting was going to be a problem. It's not. It's going to be a fairly easy receiver to polish and blue. So that'll be coming up in the future. But again, because I don't want to oversand the wood, we're going to start by stripping this. So the next video you come back on the Stevens favorite. Got a couple other things we're working on as well at the same time. Next time we come back on the Stevens favorite, we are going to be working on this gun stock. Alright guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. I know it was a short one, short disassembly video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're trying to get to 10,000 subs, and I think we can do that by the end of the year. Appreciate all of you guys who have subbed already for being here. I love you guys. I love you for being here. I love you for the support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.